Welcome to week 7. This week focuses on theories and theorists that tie into research. So, behind all research that's done, there's always a theoretical underpinning or background that goes in with it. Sometimes it's really obvious, sometimes it's a theory that's being studied. Other times, it's kind of in the background and may not be as clear immediately. But what you'll be doing is you're going to be looking to see what theory, or if you want to put multiple theories, you can, but what theory guides your PICO question. Now, this can be nursing, it doesn't have to be. There are a lot of theorists out there. There's Nightingale and Peplau, there's Oram and Rogers. And there's just so many nursing theorists out there. You can look at things like self-care theory or needs theory. Looking at environmental theories of Nightingale may be applicable to yours. But they're not all nursing. There's also things like harm reduction theories, which sometimes come out of social work and psychology. There's self-efficacy, which that theory kind of has an interweaving tie across multiple fields. Some of the medical concepts and theories have come out as well, like surgical checklists. So although that's not as much as a theory as much as a kind of an underpinning of a methodology, you can also look at things like that. So what you're going to do is you can see what kind of theory you can find that would help back your PICO question. That kind of says the question is worth asking based on something larger that it links into, that is connected to. You're going to answer the question, so filling out all the aspects of this, this grid right here. You need to put not only your answer, let's say that you choose self-care theory, and so you're looking at that. You need to put a brief explanation of why that theory ties in. So you could put like Oram's self-care theory in the answer, an explanation of why that fits in with your theory. So if we look at the question I asked hypothetically earlier about doing yoga and stress levels, that could possibly be intertwined with self-care theory. And then a citation as well. Where did you find that information? This can be a website that you found. It does need to be a reputable website. Wikipedia is not an option to put here, just tossing that out there. Let us know, was it a nursing theory? If it was, give the name of that theorist. So again, if I put self-care theory here, I could put that it was Oram down here. If it's not a nursing theory, if it comes from social work, psychology, sociology, any of these other fields that are out there, you need to tell what field it comes from. Again, giving a brief answer of how that links in, and then citation. Is the intervention of focus considered standard of practice or a new approach? So the thing that you are suggesting to look at and compare to another theory, are you looking at something that's being done already as a standard of practice and kind of making sure that it works and it's still best practice? If so, if it's what's being done the most, then that's the standard of practice. Or are you looking at a new intervention like CBD oils compared to other traditional approaches, medicinal approaches? So what you're going to do is explain, or make sure you indicate, is it a standard of practice or is it a new approach? Give your explanation, and then give a citation. So if you're saying the standard of practice, how do you know that? Where have you found that it's standard of practice? Or if it's a new theory and it's not standard practice, what's the citation that's introduced you to this concept or to this intervention? And then what are the potential barriers to the intervention found in the evidence? Again, found in the evidence. So with any intervention that there's ever been any studies on, even if it wasn't in the exact application that you're looking at, let's say that this was used in a slightly different environment, it was used more in a community setting as opposed to a hospital setting or something like that. As you look at the evidence, it'll almost always talk about the barriers. So what may present challenges? Is it patient compliance? Is it administrative costs? Different things like that. So think through that. Once you find a barrier in the evidence, you're also going to put that citation for where you found that in the evidence. So that's the article or form of evidence you found. And then, is the intervention appropriate for all individuals? Why or why not? This comes into play. Some interventions may be contraindicated for certain people or may only be applicable to certain folks. So make sure you answer that. So on this side, you've only been putting the citations, but at the bottom, you're going to be putting your reference list. Again, this is, first of all, to make sure you have everything documented of where you found the information, which is incredibly important, so no plagiarism is present. But also, it's really good to get into the practice of doing these APA references. I know APA may seem foreign to quite a few people, but once you do it, it tends to get very repetitive and almost turns into like an academic muscle memory. So the more you practice it, the easier it will become. So make sure that this grid is submitted by the end of week 7. The rubric is at the very bottom, so you can see kind of what's being asked. And then keep in mind again, this is 3 points, which is 3% of your total grade. So please let us know if you have any questions.